Okay, so the first way to solve systems of linear equations that we're going to go over is by graphing. So we need to solve the system of the linear equations by graphing here. And so when we graph, we want to put our equations in y equals mx plus b form. Those are just the easiest forms to graph in. So my first equation here, 2x minus y equals -8. Solve this for y. So I'm going to subtract my 2x over. Don't forget that negative. We got negative y equals, these are not like terms, and because I want the x first, this is negative 2x minus 8. I need to solve for a positive y, and we've solved for a negative y, so I'm going to divide everything by -1, which means we have y equals 2x plus 8. So from here, my slope is 2, which is the same as 2 over 1. So I know my rise and my run. And my y-intercept is the 0.08. So we'll start with the y-intercept. We'll go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then use your slope. It's rise over run. So I'm going to rise a +2 and then run 1 right here. Now that is enough to graph your line. But because I'm solving by graphing, this needs to be accurate. And so I am going to put dots going all the way in the opposite direction. And so this is equivalent to -2 over -1, because negative over negative is positive. So this means I can, from this point, I can go down 2 and run a -1. Down 2, run a -1. And I'm going to do this for the entire graph. All right. So here is my first line. Okay, so now let's do it again for my second line. My second line is 3x plus y equals 3. So let's get this and do my y equals mx plus b form again. And we will do that by subtracting over 3x. These are not like terms, and I want my x to come first. So this is -3x plus 3. So this one was a lot easier to get into the correct form. So from here, my slope is -3, which is the same as -3 over 1. And my y-intercept is 0.3. So I will start with my y-intercept of 3. And then my slope is -3, which is the same as -3 over 1. So that is down 1, 2, 3 over a +1, down 1, 2, 3 over a +1. And I can keep going, and I will, but I can tell just by the way I'm going away from my line, right? So this is the same as 3 over -1. It doesn't matter where that negative goes, as long as you have 1. It can either go in the top or in the bottom. So from this point, I can go up 1, 2, 3 over 1. And notice I land right here on this point. That is my solution. Because I did this whole thing and now I'm doing this whole thing, right? Because I could have graphed it from these two lines, but because I am rising and running and landing on the exact same point, I don't have to guess. If these aren't accurate, and when they cross, it's something like this right here, right? Where is that supposed to be? Is that supposed to be in this corner, in this corner? I don't know because my graph isn't accurate. These have to be accurate. But this is my line. And so this is my solution. So that is the ordered pair, negative 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so there is my answer to this. Now, graphing sucks for a couple of reasons. One, like I just said, this has to be accurate. Okay, you can't just have 2 points and just kind of make a line. It's got to be accurate. The second thing is, what if this was negative 1, 6.53? Okay, I can't tell that by looking at the graph. So graphing, don't really like it. Also, we can do this with our calculator. So let's get out our calculator. When we do this in our calculator, we need to graph our line first. So we go to y equals, clear out anything you got. When you put these in your calculators, because it's y1 equals, y2 equals, these have to be solved for y. So we would have had to do this whether we did it by hand or by the calculator anyways. I cannot put these in the calculator in that form. You've got to solve them for y. So if I put my first one in, I've got 2, here's my x, this x t theta n, 2x plus 8. I'll hit enter and it'll go down to the next one. And then I'm going to put in negative, which this is your negative button. This is minus, this is negative. So negative 3, x plus 3. And I'm going to go to zoom and go 6 to standard. And so here are my lines. And so I can see that that looks exactly like that. My graphs are accurate. Once you get those in, okay, after you graph them, we're going to go second, calc. And I want to go here to intersect. I care about where these two are crossing each other. So you can either arrow down to 5 or just push 5 on your keypad. It's going to ask for your first curve. It's on my first curve, so enter. It's going to ask for the second curve. It's on the second one. Hit enter. It's asking for first and second. In case you have multiple lines on here, you can pick which 2 lines you're picking. It's going to ask guess. Don't worry about that. Just hit enter again. And then now it tells me my intersection is at -1, 6. So in my calculator, first graph it. Which means we have to solve for y. And then press y equals. This is my y equals. Okay, once you have it graphed, then you will go calc, which you get to by hitting second, then trace. Okay, so to get to calc, you go second, trace. And then you will go to 5, which was intersect. So when we hit second calc, we went down here to 5 intersect. You're basically gonna hit enter 3 times. And then you'll get your answer. So ask for first curve, enter, second curve, enter, guess, enter, and now you've got your answer right there. Okay, if you did not get that, rewind this video and go over that because this is going to be a very helpful tool, not only in this class, but in the future classes as well.